Fear and anxiety, two emotions that can prevent you from wanting to show up on your first day at work. Even if you've been in the workforce for years, starting with a new company, performing a new role, reporting to a new manager, those things bring up the two emotions, fear and anxiety, along with the fact that you feel like you're going to have to prove yourself again, and that goes right back to fear and anxiety. So here's what I want to share with you. Whether it's your first day on the job as a young person, or whether you are a middle-aged or older person showing up with a new company or a new manager, this I want to tell you from my experience. This is what I tell myself. Always try to practice what you preach. Always try to put yourself in someone else's shoes so that you can be empathetic and so that you can also lead. Because you have to go through, you have to go forward in life, and that means you're going to have to face fear and anxiety in responsible way. I mean, there's risk everywhere, but so here's the first thing. One is show up, right? 80% of success is showing up. Believe it or not, most people have a basic level of intellect and ability, physically and mentally, but emotionally, the fear and the anxiety is so crippling, which I empathize with. We're all different. So for them, it's so overwhelming, they just can't even show up. And when you're younger, it'll be a little bit harder because you're not developed enough. You're not. So again, don't focus on other people, but just focus on yourself here. Now you got to show up. Okay. And then two is when you show up on your first day on the job, whether you're young, middle-aged, or older. Remember, they're not, on your first day at work or even your first few days, they're not judging you by your technical ability immediately. They're judging you by, one, did you show up, your reliability. Two is your personality, your attitude. Are you easy to get along with? Do they feel like you pose a threat, like you're going to be a problem, right? So one is show up. Two is be pleasant. Try to smile, say less, listen more, take notes, and be pleasant to deal with. Whether you're dealing with a new manager, new job, new company, be pleasant to deal with. Okay. You're a professional. You're paid to be easy to deal with. Okay. And then three is back to writing down. Take down notes. Okay. Because usually your first day, your first time doing something, again, even if you're older, because you could be changing roles or changing companies, you're mainly going to be onboarding, meaning you're going to be getting used to your new computer, the new software systems, the new equipment, the new job role, whether you're a barista, whether you're a nurse, or whether you're a mechanic, or whether you're an executive. Getting familiar with the company's systems, knowing where to go or who to go to get answers, what group to go to. Getting to know your surroundings, that's your focus. After you show up, after you learn and remind yourself to be pleasant to deal with, start to get a feel for the game, for the players of the game, the landscape, so to speak. You're a professional, you're paid to do it. It's not being phony, it's being professional. Your personal time, you do what you want, right? But either way, fear and anxiety can keep you from even showing up, and that's what you got to overcome. Step one. Step two, remind yourself you're not judged by solving the hardest problems day one. You're judged by, if a problem arises, will this person be easy enough to talk to work through a problem? That's your personality, that's your attitude. That matters more than your technical skills, especially in the beginning. And then three is understanding the systems within the new company. Whether it's how to make the cappuccino, what system, what machine to go to. Or if you're a mechanic, where to get certain tools, where certain equipment is. Or if you're a nurse, what floor is the ICU on? What floor are these supplies on? Whatever role, whatever job you're doing. Fear and anxiety show up 80% show up. Two is be pleasant. That's probably at least another 10%. I mean, I'm rounding these numbers, right? But 90% of life, guys, show up, be pleasant, And then 3 is take notes, understand who to go to, where to go to, and the big problems that will come when you build your real equity in the company and with trust in people. You'll be prepared through exercising consistently the things I mentioned prior. Because when you show up consistently, you're easy to work with, and you always try to document and understand your surroundings and get a better feel. What you're doing is you're slowly preparing for a big problem. Because a big problem, when it arises, 1 is you have to be able to answer the call, so showing up. 2 is when there's a big problem, the biggest thing you got to do is sometimes you got to be assertive, but you also got to be, even after the tough conversation, can they call you back? You're going to need to have some tough conversations, but will you take the call back? And then 3 is understanding the order of how things need to get done to fix the problem. Okay. So showing up in life, hardest thing. 2 is reminding yourself to be easy to work with. Okay, a lot of smart people, hard to work with. You know, some of them may be successful, but I want to tell you guys, life is not just about certain monetary things. It's also about treating people well, okay? But you also got to get stuff done, guys, okay? So it's a combination of all those things, but I hope this video helped in some way. Thank you for watching. See you next one. And remember, 1 day at a time. Before you know it, it's been 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. How do you tackle anything that you have fear and anxiety over? 1 step at a time, 1 day at a time. Before you know it, you've made a lot of progress. You've been there a long time.